shortage, but the cost of bricks is increasing, so that's going to have a knock-on effect.
Ben is out at a factory in Dudley this morning. What an interesting place. It's the kind of thing you just don't really think about, Ben, as sort of the cost of bricks, but you're in the place where they make them.
Yeah, exactly. And I've learnt so much this morning about sort of the supply and demand of bricks, but also crucially how they make them. What you can see here is the end of the process. All of these bricks have come out of the kiln and they've all been basically fired there, so they're all ready to go out to building sites up and down the country. But you're right, prices are going up because there's a shortage. Well, Alex is the boss. Alex, morning. Look, we're right at the end of the process. Quickly, I mean, how soon will these be out on a building site?
Well, these guys here are packing up 25,000 bricks a day that are going out in the yard, and they'd be available 3 to 5 days if a new order came on.
And so you're in a position where you've got enough supply. You can meet the demand that you've got, and particularly big house builders, because they get their orders in really quickly, don't they? They plan ahead. But smaller builders are struggling.
Well, I think the issue is, you know, if you're looking for a particular brick type and you need it tomorrow, you really should have planned ahead, because we have, you know, a huge range of bricks in this country, and we don't have everything available in stock. So from our yard, you can have product available immediately if it's a standard product. It will take you probably 12 weeks to get a bespoke product made, which is something that, you know, requires the whole time from extruding the brick, drying it and firing it to get it out in the yard to make it available.
Yeah, I've certainly learnt this morning that there's a lot to it. Alex and Al, thanks very much. So what impact is that all having on the rest of the construction sector? Well, with me, Kate, a housing expert, and Chris, who's a local builder. Morning to you both. Chris, I mean, we were hearing about the impact on big builders. They've got their orders in very early, so they know what they're going to do. What difference does it make for you if there's a shortage of bricks?
Well, we've just had a problem this week where we've started a site for 95 units with another partner developer, and we'd agreed the bricks and the prices, and then they've turned around this week and told us that they've gone out of production on one brick and 4 months waiting for the second brick, which means now we're going to have to go back to the planning department and try and get those conditions changed to allow a new brick. And luckily our planning department at North East Lincolnshire is really good, and they should turn that road in a couple of weeks. But for some local authorities, that may take months to change the brick, which means you're delayed months before you get started.
Yeah, just to be clear, so some developers, some planners stipulate what type of brick you have to use in your project, so you can't just replace one for another?
No, part of our planning conditions is we have to stipulate what brick and what tile we use, so we can't just change it. We have to go back to the council to get them to approve the new brick.
And Kate, what difference does this make, you know, up and down the country? We're told we're constantly not building enough houses. If there's a shortage like this, that could have a real impact, couldn't it?
Well, it can, but at the end of the day, this is manufacturing, and there's thousands of components that go into building a house. So anybody out there who's been in manufacturing knows full well you're going to be short of something, particularly when it takes a year to even 5 years to build out a scheme. So you've got to problem solve, and doing exactly what Chris is doing, getting the change where it's possible quickly, is one of the ways of tackling it.
So is this a problem with supply, or is it just that people haven't planned enough, that they've not been organised enough to get their order in early?
So for some, you can get your order in early because you're going to know it's going to happen. But if you're a householder and you've got to wait 2 months for your planning to come through, you're not going to place an order until that's in. And then if it's 3 to, you know, it might only be a few months or even 4 weeks if it's a standard brick. But there's thousands of different types of brick. And if you want something special that they make every now and again, that could be just like when you buy a car or you have a bespoke kitchen, that could be 3 to 6 months.
Kate, Chris, really good to see you. Thanks so much. So, yeah, who knew that something we take for granted when it comes to, you know, getting houses up, getting them built and meeting that demand for houses could be so complicated? But this place, certainly, they make 25,000 a day, 7 million a year. They're hoping they go some way to address that shortage.
Really interesting. Ben, thank you very much. Back with you a little later on.
From bricks to birds, for many, their arrival heralds the start of summer. In fact, the poet Ted Hughes said the return of the swift to British skies was proof